Hey, what's up guys? Gary Gilgan here. I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to watch this video. This is episode 2 of the 90-day goals or 90-day challenge. I'm super excited. Things have got off to just a fantastic start. Just feeling really good. So my intentions with these videos, like I said, I want to recap, is just to kind of document my journey from, where I was a couple days ago. If you watched yesterday's video, I'm kind of starting all over. I mean, I'm 34 years old, so I'm not exactly starting all the way over. And, but, my girlfriend of 2 years left me after I was just not living up to my potential. And so it was really just a sign that, listen man, you got to get your shit together. Because I believe that I believe all people, not just me. I believe every single person, 8 billion people on the planet, I believe that we all have infinite inborn potential. I really do believe that anything is possible. I'm talking anything. And I have some just crazy ideas, and I really do believe that if man can conceive an idea, if they can picture that idea in their mind, that it is possible. And so I believe those things, and for the past couple of years, and especially the past year, I have not been living up to that potential. And for me, this is my higher power, or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of because I see life in symbols and signals, and I see life like that. So this is a symbol, or this is a signal to me that, hey man, it's time to get to work. It's time to take your life to the next level. It's time to stop sitting on your thumbs, and it's time to get to work. And to kind of give some context to that, I talked yesterday about I've been studying personal development, personal growth. I mean, I've read countless books. I've listened to even more audios. I listen to way more books on tape than I do actually reading the books. And I actually just watched a interview that Tony Robbins did. Tony Robbins is one of probably the person I look up to the very most. He just did an interview with a guy named Lewis Howes on his jet, and he talked about, man, if you have all the knowledge within you, and you've read all the books and listened to all the tapes, but you're not doing it, you don't know shit. Because it doesn't, and I mean, that kind of goes along with what Gary Vee says too, is, man, nowadays in 2016, information, it's so abundant and it's so easy to access anything you want to know, that it's not about knowing anything anymore. It's about executing on what you know. It's about taking massive action every single day on what you know. Because at the end of the day, we teach more by our example than we do by our words. And if you have all this knowledge locked up inside of your mind, but you're not taking any action, you're going to end up you're going to be dying, you're going to be living life in vain. Your life has no real purpose because you didn't share that. And the best way that you can share is by living and being an example to other people by your actions and by your results. So I'm super excited about this transformation. It's time. I've been through so many of these, levels up in my life that I see the signposts that say, hey, it's time. That's the end of one chapter. Here's the beginning of another one. It's time to just blow things up. So over the next 5 days, what I'm going to be doing with you is I'm going to be laying out my goals for the next 90 days. Just kind of showing you guys how I lay out goals in a very simple, logical way. There's tons and tons of videos on goals, SMART goals, GOSPA goals, just different formats that people use to lay out their goals. And I'm going to show you how I do them. Over the next 5 days, I'm going to break down the goals in the major areas of my life. So back in 2006, just to give you a little bit of context on how I came up with this model, I created this model over the past 10 years. In 2006, I was going through another end of one chapter, start of another one, that's been going on for the past 10 years now. Wow, 10 years. June 1st, 2006 was my official last day working at the family business as a semi-truck mechanic. So coming on 10 years in a couple months, so very exciting stuff. But anyways, 2006 was a pivotal year. From June 1st, 2006 to about October, November, even December of 2006, my life it was crazy. It was the wildest ride. I went from, I was 21 when I bought my first house, and I was 10 years ago, I'd be 23, 24, 25, I don't remember. Going through just major transformation. I foreclosed on my house, I had to file for bankruptcy, I literally sold every possession that I had worked so hard. I worked 10 years as a mechanic. I worked so hard every single day to amass all these material things. And at the end of the day, I just had to sell them all off to keep the wolves off my back. So I'd have these like Gary Gilgan liquidation sales, you know, fire sale, everything must go. I'd have these because I had a dream, you know, I had a dream that to pursue something bigger than just being a mechanic for the rest of my life. And so, I remember one day, because I had lost my house, I had to move out of my house, and I moved back in with my parents, and I was sitting up in their guest bedroom, and I had whiteboards. I've always had whiteboards around me so I could write my ideas out, and I was just sitting there just kind of lost and confused, like, man, what the hell am I going to do next? You know, what's the next step in my life? You know, it's like using the metaphors, my life was dishes and someone threw those dishes on the ground and now I was having to pick them back up to put them back together. And so I didn't know what the next move was. And so what I did, the logical type person that I am, is I kind of looked at my life from a kind of a macro point of view to kind of think, well, man, if I had to break my life up, if I had to deconstruct my life, what would be the main core areas of my life? And what I did when I was living at their house is I drew this stick figure. I drew this guy right here. I still have the journal. I drew that represented me. And what I did is I came up with 5 core areas of my life, or life in general. One is being health. Second is being wealth or money or survival. The third one was relationships. The fourth was spirituality. And the fifth one, was purpose or self-realization or self-actualization. Okay, so 5 core areas. And I've asked this because I've been teaching this concept. I've been teaching this concept for, probably the past 4 years now. I used to teach classes. I started teaching classes just out of my house, and then I moved into teaching them in an office, doing, coaching and things like that. But I always ask the audience, can you think of any other main core area that would not go into one of those main core areas? And I haven't had anybody yet to tell me that they could think of another main core area, that every other area is a subcategory of those 5 main core areas of life. And so I broke my life down into those 5 core areas, and then I started writing down. I started writing down the goals that I had for each of those areas, and that's what I'm going to do for you today. I'm going to show you how I break them down into different categories. So I can take a big goal. Let's say you want to make, I'm just going to use money as an example. Let's say you want to make $1 million. And let's say you want to make $1 million in a year, but you've never made more than $30,000. So that's just a huge goal. And most people, when they see that goal, they'd be like, there's no way. I don't know how the hell I'm going to make $1 million. I've barely even scratched the surface of 30,000. Well, what you do is you take that big, huge goal and you break it down into really tiny daily steps or daily goals that are much more accomplishable. So let's take the $1 million just real quick. So $1 million divided by 365 days a year is $2,739.72. We can round it up to 75 cents. So let's round it up even more, $3,000 a day. So if you make $3,000 a day on average, you're gonna make over $1 million in a year. So $3,000 a day is much more reasonable for someone's mind to grasp onto, especially if they're getting into, if you're watching this video, you're someone that's already striving for success, or you want a better life, or you're willing to take risks and take an opportunity so that you can better your life or better your family's life. So if we take that big, huge goal and we break it down into smaller, more bite-sized portions, then it's a lot easier to eat the whole entire elephant. And so that's what I do. So let me show you. Today we're going to talk about health. So for me, health has always been something I've been very, very passionate about. I would almost say that health is a big part of what I believe in, because I believe that life, this body, this vessel, this flesh and blood is hands down the greatest gift that we have ever been given. And to me, what I believe is that if you don't take care of this vessel, if you don't take care of your body to the highest level of your conscious awareness that you understand, then you are, what's the word I want to use? You're disrespecting God. It's like if God gave you the greatest gift ever, gave you life, gave you flesh and blood, gave you this vessel, and gave you this temple. And let's think, would you ever go and egg a temple? Would you ever go and spray paint a temple? Would you ever go and take a bunch of garbage and dump it inside of a temple? I would venture to say that most people watching this video would not go and desecrate a temple. Well, if you're eating McDonald's and you're drinking soda pop and you're eating Pop-Tarts and you're eating sugary cereals and you're eating dairy products and that's what you're doing. And my belief is that. So for me, I've always believed in taking care of my vessel, taking care of my body to the highest level possible. And I've been studying health and nutrition and fitness and working out and yoga and all these different technologies and all these different strategies since I was 13 years old. When I was 13 years old, my grandma moved into the house and they asked me, hey, grandma's gonna move into the house. Can she have your room and you get to move in the basement? So I was like, oh yeah, for sure. I move into the basement. It's like, dude, I'm 13 years old and I got my own little bachelor pad, So I remember I had weights downstairs, and I would just work out and stuff like that when I was 13. And it's only progressed to today. I'm still constantly researching information and technology on how I can live a more healthy life so that I can provide for my kids, I can provide for my DNA and my lineage for years and years to come, and hopefully I can pass down this information down through generations, because I believe right now that, man, there's just chronic dis-ease and there's chronic addiction. I believe that food is the most overly abused drug on the planet, and it simply comes down to ignorance. People just don't know. I mean, if you're raised on sugar cereal and someone comes along and tells you shouldn't be eating that sugar cereal, it's really bad for you, man, you're already addicted to it. Nah, man, it's super good, and I'm not sick, I'm not dying. But to me, every single choice we make either adds to our life or it takes away from our life. And a good point of that is cigarettes. Every single cigarette you smoke is destructing. It's destructive to your body. It's killing your body. Well, I believe that sugar is the same thing. Processed carbohydrates, the same thing. Dairy products, the same thing. Red meat, the same thing. And I'm not an evangelist. I'm not trying to tell you that you should change your lifestyle or anything like that. I'm just showing you by my example. Because I used to eat red meat. I've never been super into dairy products, but I still do. I love donuts. I love French fries. I'm a big pastry and cake type of person. But I have to look at my life and say, hey, you know, what's more important, eating donuts or living to be 120 years old so I can see my great grandkids and I can be an example and I can be an influence in their life. And so there's a law of the universe, the law of sacrifice. The law of sacrifice simply states that in order to have something of a higher nature, you have to give something up of a lower nature. And so you just got to ask yourself the question, you know, what do I want more? I want to live for a long time. I want to be super healthy in that lifetime. And the only way to do that is to get as close to nature as possible. I'm rambling, so let's move on. So how I break goals down, pretty simple. I kind of break them down into asking questions. So the first question would be, what do I want? What's the thing in the material world? What's the result I want to see? So is it the bank account, the dream body, the relationship, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the wife, the husband, you know, a closer connection with your God, the, you know, service, a purpose, writing a book, making a movie. What is it that you actually want in this world? So when you ask that question, what do I really want in this area? Then you write it down. So for me, I want to be 200 pounds and I want to have 10% body fat. This is a goal that I've had for a long time, and right now I'm 200 pounds, I'm 6'1", 200 pounds, and I just had this little test because you gotta know where you're starting if you're ever gonna find out where you're going. And so I just had this body composition analysis done, and so right now I'm 200 pounds, and I am 14.6 body fat. So I gotta lose about 5% body fat, and when I lose that body fat, I'm gonna bring my weight down. So in order to keep that weight up, I gotta build muscle and lose fat. So that's my goal there. Okay, now the next question is this is what's gonna get you up early in the morning. This is what's gonna get you taking action even when you don't want to. And that's, why do you want it? Okay, you gotta become emotionally attached. You gotta become emotionally involved with your goal. And the more emotionally involved you can get into your goal and attached to your goal, the more power that you're going to have to take action, to consistently take action and move forward. When it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you don't want to wake up to go to the gym, your why is going to, you got to think, man, do I want to win or do I want to lose? Do I want to feel that way or do I want to continue feeling this way? You know, when you look in the mirror now, how does it make you feel? If it makes you feel ugly or insecure, you don't like to get naked in front of other people, like your spouse or the gym or anything like that, that's the reason why you want to take action. That's the reason why you want this goal. At the end of the day, everything that we do so that we can feel a different emotion that we're feeling. So if you're poor, you want to feel rich. You want to feel financially free, let's put it. So for me, number one is I want to live by example. That's my biggest goal right now. That's my biggest why for all of my goals, is I want to live by example. I want to be a great example to you watching this video, but especially to my kids, to my wife. I want to be a great example. I want them to look at me and say, man, that's how you live. If you want a life of excellence and a life of greatness, that's how you do it. He's doing it, and if I want it, I'm going to follow his lead. Okay? The emotions that I want to feel is I want to feel amazing in my body. I don't want to feel sluggish and run down. I want to feel confident. I want to feel sexy. You know, about my story just recently, man, like I didn't feel good at all in my body. You know, I gained so much weight. I got up to like 215 pounds, 220 pounds, just feeling like shit, you know. But at the end of the day, I was eating shit. I didn't care too much about what I was eating. I wasn't working my body out to a high level, and I paid the consequences. And so I want to feel sexy. I want to feel sexy in my skin. I want to feel sexy in my body. And I think that a lot of people want to feel that same way. I want to feel energized. In order for me to go out and take action and just execute on my goals and really take my life to the next level and create an amazing lifestyle for my kids and for my family, I've got to have high levels of energy. My gas tank has just got to be, you know, a 50-gallon gas tank that's just always full, always just pumped up. I want to be flexible. Okay, in India, they actually determine the health of a person by their flexibility. And so I want to be flexible. I want to be able to, you know, when I'm 80, 90, 100 years old, I want to be feeling good. I want to still be playing golf and playing with my great grandkids, you know. And passion. I want to feel passion. I'm so passionate about health. I study health. I study new technologies all the time when it comes to health. Not only for my health, but for my kids' health, and just information that I can pass on to you. The third one is, what do I need to do in order to accomplish my goal? So I know why I want to accomplish the goal now. It's what do I need to do? What actions do I need to start taking? So there's two different types of actions that we've got to take, or that we've got to determine that we have to take in order to achieve our goal. The first is, what do we need to do? What are the new actions? What are the new changes that we need to start making in order to accomplish our goals? And mine is number one, and I've seen this everywhere, I'm sure you have too, is 80% of results in health are made in the kitchen, not in the gym, not on the streets. And I believe that 100%. So for me, I got to continue my high-fat, low-carb lifestyle. So I've been on this lifestyle for, going on about 4 months. About 4 months, I don't eat very many carbohydrates at all. I don't eat any bread, no pasta, no starches, no beans, no quinoa, nothing. All of my energy comes from fat. So I eat a lot of fat, a lot of oil. I eat a whole coconut with the meat every single day. I eat 2 avocados every single day, a lot of eggs, things like that. Number 2 is I got to condition my body at least 5 times per week. So super important to me. For me especially, the gym it's therapy for me. I can go in there, I forget about everything, I get really in the zone, and I can just be there for an hour to an hour and a half and just really release a lot of endorphins, just kick my own ass, you know? And that's by doing weights, going to the gym, yoga, super important, and running, biking, and swimming. I'm really excited. Last year I started training for triathlons, and this year I'm just going to continue training for triathlon. A long-term goal of mine, not just in 90 days, but a long-term goal of mine is to compete and to finish an Ironman. So it's very important to me. What I need to discontinue, and I've been really, really good about this since I started the ketogenic or the high-fat, low-carb lifestyle, is just staying away from addictive foods. For me, I'm an emotional type eater, so if I get frustrated or I get sad or I get any, lower level emotion, I love to treat myself, donuts, cake, cookies, pastries, French fries. Those are the type of things that I used to those were my bugaboos, those were my drugs, and I've been just super, super good about that. So I'm really excited to just continue, because what I'm putting in my body now makes me feel so good. I feel like I'm running on a whole different type of energy than I was running on before. And just like I said, how to get that flag. Just like I said, everything you do has an effect on your mind, your body, and your soul. And just based on my research, we eat so many carbohydrates, so many processed carbohydrates, and it's not good for the body, just based on my research. Okay? The next thing is, what beliefs do you have to have? What beliefs would you have to have that would be in alignment with what you had to do and why you wanted to do it so that you could accomplish the goal? And for me, my beliefs are, number 1 is I can do it. Anything I put my mind to, I've always been able to accomplish. I've always been successful in anything I've put my mind to, so I can do it. The second is I deserve to be fit and healthy. I deserve it. Everybody deserves it. Health and fitness and prosperity in every area of your life, that's your birthright. Your birthright. The apple tree doesn't question whether or not it should be able to produce apples. It just produces apples abundantly and for long periods of time. You are an extension of nature. You are made in God's image. So you have the ability, and it is your birthright to have anything that you desire, anything you put your mind to. Another belief of mine is food is fuel. Food is fuel. Like I was saying earlier, food in my belief is fuel is the most overly abused food drug, especially in the United States. The United States has the highest level of cancer, heart disease, obesity, diabetes. All of those are 100%, 1,000,000% preventable diseases by what you're putting in your body. 100%. So food is fuel. It's not satisfaction. A lot of people turn to food as a way to satisfy or alleviate their emotions. And finally, I got this from my boy Tony Robbins. Nothing tastes better than feeling healthy and being fit feels. So nothing. I don't care how many donuts you eat or how many French fries or cheeseburgers or cookies or gum or candy bars or soda pop. I don't care how much you ingest. You will never feel as good as being fit and healthy will make you feel, period. Okay, and the last one are the values. So what values would you have to practice and instill in your being in order to take that action, in order to continuously be in harmony with your goal? And the values that I came up with that I have to instill is, number one, is I have to be hardworking. I have to be hardworking, have to be disciplined, have to be dedicated, have to be persistent, have to be loving. I have to love myself through the process. I think a lot of times people aren't in love with themselves. We are our own biggest critic, especially when we're standing in the mirror, we're getting naked or things like that. We are our own biggest critic. I got a big butt, or I got a big gut, or I got, flabby arms, whatever it may be, rather than looking in the mirror and saying, I love you the way that you are, and I'm gonna work my ass off so that I can get to what you deserve. Committed, driven, positive, and passionate. Okay, those are the values that I have to practice, that I have to be committed to in order for me to accomplish my goals. So that's how I break goals down. Very, very simple, very, very logical. It doesn't matter how awesome your plan is. At the end of the day, you've got to take action. I know what my actions are. It's going to the gym. It's eating right. It's super duper simple. Being fit and being healthy is super simple. Eat healthy, make healthy choices, and you gotta move your body. We live a very sedentary lifestyle where we sit in offices and then we go home and sit in front of the TV and then we go and lay in bed. We're not out there moving our body, we're not out there sweating and we're not out there getting our asses kicked. And this body was meant to get beat up. You gotta beat up that body. You can't just sit in your cubicle. You can't just sit in front of the TV and expect to ever live a healthy life. So I've rambled on for a long time. It's almost 30 minutes. I hope that you made it this far. If you did, I very much appreciate your time. I very much appreciate your attention. I really do. I hope that this video kind of lays out a blueprint for you so that you can take this and apply it to your life and start really going after some goals. So I hope that you like the video. If you have any questions, any comments, anything at all on your mind, please leave a comment. I would love to help you. I'm here to serve you. Until tomorrow, I hope you have a great day. God bless you. Have a great day.